If you're reading this, I'm already dead. Call the police and tell them about Bryan. I didn't trust Bryan from the first day he joined our company. Monmouth is just another soul-sucking big box store that employs the broken and broke like a kid collects magic cards, and discards the common ones just as quickly. 3 months ago, Bryan walked into the Tupperware aisle with a televangelist smile reflecting the glare of fluorescent lights, and a laser beam stare on my co-worker Jenny's ass while she was leaning over picking up random trash. "Hey, I'm Bryan. It's really good to be working with you." Hand outstretched, he grabbed my unextended hand and shook it furiously in his sweaty palms. "I just love your vibe. I know we're gonna be getting along freaking awesome." Sure, man, nice to meet you," I said, wiping the slime off on my jeans. "This is... Who are you, beautiful?" Bryan practically yelled at Jenny. "I didn't know I would be working with a celebrity." "I'm not a celebrity," Jenny said. "You would be if you sent me some pics. I'd make sure everyone knew how pretty you are." While I watched this harassment lawsuit in front of my eyes, I caught Jenny blushing at his advances. Jenny was a good kid in her early 20s. More curves than common sense, though, and a giant hole in her heart that her dad made when he cut out of their lives more than 10 years ago. Don't get me wrong, she was a knockout on the inside and out, but I wasn't into her. For one, I was way too old for her, and two, I didn't swing that way. I had more exotic tastes. I just felt protective of her, but I wasn't her dad and I couldn't get in the way. Over the next couple of weeks, I noticed Bryan chatting her up in hardware, and I'm pretty sure he made at least a little farther with her in the break room on the overnight shift. It was what it was. I really got word last week, though, when Bryan dropped her off for her shift, and she wouldn't look me in the eyes when she clocked in. "Hey Jenny, wait up," I called, and she stopped short before leaving the back room. Her hair was down that day, brushed over the side of her neck, revealing ugly, dark bruising along her jugular. "What the... Jenny, what happened?" "Just leave me alone, will you?" she muttered through clenched teeth and stormed out of the room. The next day, Jenny didn't show up for work. 3 days later, the police asked questions, but told everyone not to worry about it. She was young and would show up. They'd seen this kind of thing before. Monday, Bryan was moving in on the new girl at the store, Brandy. Same MO. Brandy looked a lot like Jenny too. Fun and cute with a hurt she didn't quite understand yet, but left her vulnerable to assholes and predators. Pro tip: next time you go to Monmouth or any of its big box competitors, look up. You see all those round domes on the ceiling that are supposed to have cameras in them? The domes are all empty. They're just there to freak you out and deter the amateurs who don't know what they're doing. Yeah, there are a handful of security cameras all over the store. You just can't see them. You gotta know where they're at. I just happen to know that the security camera in the alley behind the store had a tragic mishap with a baseball bat last night. Management is lazy. They won't get to that for a year. Maybe. "Where is she, asshole?" I slammed Bryan into the brick wall next to the dumpster. "Who?" "Stop screwing with me." Bryan threw a sloppy right I blocked with my left. My knee struck gold between his legs, and my right snapped his head back with an uppercut. "How's it feel dealing with some of your own size?" Okay, man. Okay. Shit. Just give me a second. Bryan stretched out his hands, placating. Let's talk about this, man. I blocked the sucker punch he threw to my gut on my arm. I grabbed the loser by his t-shirt and slammed my forehead into his nose. Cartilage crunched and blood splattered satisfyingly. Where, I growled, slamming his back into the brick to accentuate each word, is she? Wouldn't you like to know, old man? Bryan spat bloody spittle in my face. I saw you looking at her. You want some of that honey too, don't you? I paused for just a split second. Present tense. Want some of that honey too. I didn't think Jenna was still alive. But maybe. I never saw the box cutter until I felt the warmth trickling down my shirt. The last thing I remember was the feel of my ribs breaking from what felt like the tip of a steel-toe boot as my lifeblood bled out into the alley. Bryan's face the next day was priceless. I waited just outside of the break room and looked inside. Bryan looked like 250 pounds of angry man had made his face into meatloaf. I was half surprised a wuss like him would show his face at work looking like that. But, of course, if it didn't show up so soon after Jenna disappeared, it might draw some suspicion his way. This was gonna be awesome. There was lots of talk about, you should have seen the other guy, and other bullshit. Good morning, gents, I bellowed in my best bass. What a fine morning it is. The other guys groused back at me, but Bryan, oh my sweet baby Jesus Bryan, his face was priceless. Good morning, Bryan. I walked right past him and clocked in at the electronic time clock. Ooh, he looks like you came out on the wrong side of a meat grinder. Oh, shut your mouth. You look like you've seen a ghost. I walked out the door and started my shift. Later that night, I just got off the 12-hour shift and walked into the employee parking lot at the back of the store. Invading weeds cracked through the weathered asphalt, laying claim to the land once again. I noticed my car door was open ajar, but I didn't think anything of it. Worn, cracked leather upholstery creaked in the back seat as I settled into the driver's seat. I just want to know where she is, Bryan. Just tell me. It'll be easier for you. Thick blackness draped over my face and tightness closed off my airway. I only knew the dark. Top of the morning, I shouted in the Montmartre the following day. I pulled a toothpick from my pocket and dug out pieces of dirt from my teeth I didn't get out the morning in the bathroom. What the hell? You can't be here! Bryan screamed, spittle flying from his ruined mouth. You're dead! You're dead! Bryan, calm down, man, I said, raising my hands in front of me, palms open. Calm down, buddy. My muscles easily encapsulated his shoulder blow to my abdomen. A crowd of looky-loos of Montmartre employees and customers started to surround us like a schoolyard fight. I heard someone mention calling 911. Better make this quick. I grabbed Bryan's head in a rear chokehold, pivoted his body, and jerked his neck up so his ear was next to my mouth. You've got to decide very quickly, asshole, I whispered into his ear. Tell me where Jen is, or I will fucking haunt you every fucking day of your miserable, worthless fucking life. I applied just a little extra torque to the pressure points behind his jaw. RV lot, outside of town. Blue camper, he croaked. That's a good boy. I whispered, applying just enough pressure to cut off his airway until his body slumped in my arms. In his last moments of consciousness, I said, "If she isn't there, you'll never know peace." The police arrived just a minute later. Badass response time, guys. I quietly slipped away in the confusion and drove to the RV parking lot outside of town. In the very back of the lot was a broken down blue trailer. I found Jenny inside, alive. I got her to the local hospital and slipped out of the emergency room doors when the doctor walked in. She was gonna be okay, but just in case, I left an envelope in her jacket that'll see her through a few years while she recovers. If you're reading this, I'm dead. Sort of. I never know when the next time I get killed will actually take. Might as well keep doing what I'm doing. There are wrongs that need to be righted. So guys, I'm looking for a new place to work. Montmartre is just a little too hot for me right now. Preferably somewhere that human scum likes to prowl. I've got an itch that needs scratching. Do you have any suggestions? Hey there, it's the narrator speaking. Thank you so much for watching today. If you liked today's story, then you should subscribe to Sable Nature, as well as hit the bell button below to be notified of future releases. It'd also be great if you left a like and a comment, as well as if you shared the video. Thanks again, and I'll see you again real soon.